Children, now we are going to learn about applications of Ellingham diagram. What are the applications? It's a very important question. Very easy to understand. Listen carefully and watch the videos carefully. It's very easy only. First application, it helps us to select the Ellingham diagram. It helps us to select suitable reducing agent. Now that only we are going to learn. Then secondly, it helps us to determine temperature range for the reduction process. Ellingham diagram given in a book, page number 11. This is the Ellingham diagram. X-axis temperature in degrees Celsius given. Then if we want to convert it into Kelvin, we have to add 273. Suppose 0 is here means 273, then 200 means 200 plus 273, 473, then 673, 873, 1073, likewise. By adding, we have to convert it into Kelvin. Then the y-axis, delta G naught value given. Below values are more negative. Above values are less negative or even positive values having. So many straight lines we can see for many metal oxides. These are only we are going to see. This diagram first divided into three parts. This is the upper part, central part, then the intersecting lines. Number one, divided into three sections. Number one, upper part, central part, third one, intersecting lines. Upper part. This is the upper part. Formation of Ag2O silver oxide, Hg2O mercuric oxide. Here delta G naught value, it is less negative or even positive values. This indicates that these metal oxides are less stable or unstable at moderate temperature. Temperature range you see 200 plus 2 473, 673, 273, only moderate temperatures. So this indicates these oxides, silver oxide and mercuric oxide, upper part, silver oxide and mercuric oxide, Hg2O, indicates these oxides are unstable at moderate temperatures and they will decompose on heating even in the absence of a reducing agent. So reducing agent is not necessary for these two oxides because their decomposition temperatures are 600 and 700 Kelvin. Since it is present in the upper part. The reason is the delta G naught value is less negative or even positive. So these two oxides, Ag2O, Hg2O, they can reduce only on heating, but they doesn't need any reducing agent. The next one is central part. The remaining, these are all the central part. Here it tells about the thermodynamic feasibility. That is reduction satyama illiya. Otherwise is it feasible or not? So here lot of lines only for metal oxide formation, lot of straight lines bottom and above, lot of monoxide shown by straight line. The bottom lines indicates the delta G naught values is negative, more negative. So it indicates that any metal can reduce the other metal oxide which is located above in the diagram. Main point is this only. Any metal can reduce the other metal oxide which is located above in the diagram. For example, take this aluminum oxide Al2O3, it is kept below. See, chromic oxide is kept above CrO3. So, this metal can reduce this aluminum can act as a reducing agent for reducing chromic oxide, but not chromium will not act as reducing agent for aluminum oxide. The metal which is present below in this diagram can act as a reducing agent for chromic oxide, because the metal which is present below having more negative values. Similarly, if you see nickel oxide is kept below MnO. So MnO can reduce, Mn can reduce nickel oxide, but not nickel oxide for MO. The metal which is present below can act as a reducing agent for above. Shortly, if you are saying the metal which is present below can act as a reducing agent for above, because this Mn having more negative delta G0 value than nickel. That is the reason. So, mainly we can say any metal can reduce the other metal oxide which is located above in the diagram. Above in the diagram. Any metal can reduce the other metal oxide which is located above in the diagram. That is, in the diagram we have seen Al2O3 is more stable than Cr2O3. So, aluminum can used as a reducing agent for the reduction of chromic oxide. However, it cannot used as a reducing agent for magnesium and calcium which occupy lower position. Magnesium, calcium which is present in lower position. For this it is not feasible. Aluminum, but it is feasible for chromic oxide which is kept above. This is the second point, central part. The third one is intersecting lines. See, this is the iron oxide. See this one, Fe plus O2 giving FeO. This is the iron oxide. C plus O2 giving CO. This line is intersecting. Third one is intersecting lines. Ellingham diagram. Temperature, delta G0, F value. See, this one is Fe plus O2. Fe plus O2 giving FeO. And this line C plus O2 giving CO. Here two lines get intersect. A CO line, this is above, and Fe line, this is below. Comparing both the lines, these both intersecting at this temperature. If degree Celsius converted to Kelvin means it is nearly around 1000 degrees Celsius. For example, given a diagram, see, this is the intersecting line, 600, 700 plus 273, nearly 1000 Kelvin. This part 1000 Kelvin. So to reduce, this is the intersecting temperature. Always the lines kept below having more negative value, so more stable. Already I have taught the second line. So this part is kept below. This part, this is kept above. Both intersect at 1000 Kelvin. Above this temperature, this line coming below. Below means more negative value, more stable. That only can reduce the upper line. So comparing both the lines, which line kept below, that oxide can reduce, that oxide can be a good reducing agent. That only can act as reducing agent. So above the temperature, above, that is apart from 1000 Kelvin, this line comes down. So above 1000 Kelvin, carbon can act as a reducing agent for iron. Not below. Below 1000 Kelvin, it cannot act as a reducing agent. So this temperature, it is not feasible. Above 1000 Kelvin, it is feasible. This is the important examination point of view. So you have to understand this one. FeO and CO cuts, that interacts around 1000 Kelvin. Below this temperature, the carbon lines above the line, which indicates FeO is more stable than CO, and reduction is not feasible. However, above 1000 Kelvin, carbon line lies below the iron line, and hence we can use coke as a reducing agent above this temperature. So this the free energy change indicates this one. So this is a very important examination point of view. So always you have to keep in mind which lines kept below, that can oxidize the metal oxide which is kept above. So intersecting means below this temperature, the reducing agent acting is impossible, not feasible. Then above the temperature, it is feasible. So this is the, for example, see in your diagram, Ellingham diagram, see the line cutting here, intersecting line, 1000 Kelvin. So below this temperature, it cannot act as a reducing agent. Above that temperature, coke can act as a good reducing agent for the reduction of iron. This is feasible. This is impossible. This is possible. These are the applications of Ellingham diagram. Understand well thoroughly, then you can learn. Merely reading the book and mugging up the answers, mere waste. Go through the video once or twice. Whatever points I told, you understand it and make notes in your classwork, and you can mark it in the PDF also.